Good evening and welcome, folks, to another episode of 162 Times, your daily baseball recap and preview show. I'm your host, Daniel Turner. It's great to be with you here on our 75th episode, which is debuting tonight after the Mariners game, not the next day. I'm not doing anything. It's super hot here in Ottawa. It's like 30 degrees still. And just finished watching the game, so I figured I'd do the recap now. Kind of makes sense. You can listen to it in the morning, and we'll preview tomorrow's matchup. I learned how to pronounce the pitcher that the Mariners will face tomorrow. But before I mention any players, I should just say that this show is very saddened by the passing of the great Willie Mays, who passed away peacefully today. It's been announced by the San Francisco Giants. The man was 93 years old. Everyone has their time. Sounds like he passed away peacefully. He had a hell of a life. I'm not, devastated. But this is one of, in my opinion, the three best baseball players to ever live. So it's Henry Aaron, Willie Mays, and Ichiro Suzuki. As I've made the case for the other guy, for Ichiro on the show. Go back and listen to the 51st episode if you want to hear that one. But, just let me run through some of the things that the center fielder from Westfield, Alabama, accomplished. He was a two-time MVP, obviously a Hall of Famer. He was Rookie of the Year, won the 1954 World Series batting title, 12 Gold Gloves, 24-time All-Star, okay? His career WAR is 156.2. It's absurd. He had over almost 11,000 at-bats, 3,293 hits, 660 home runs, lifetime batting average of 301, scored 2,068 runs, batted in 1,909 runs, stole 339 bases, career on-base percentage of 384, slugged .557 for his career, an OPS of 940 for the career, and was, one of the best center fielders of all time. You may have heard of the catch off Vic Wertz in the World Series at the Polo Grounds. Staggering numbers. Didn't play in 1953 due to military service. Could have had a 24th All-Star, given that he was Rookie of the Year 2 years before that and MVP the next year. He was then MVP in 1965, 10 years after his first MVP. Very, very, just a tremendously great player. He began his professional career at age 17 with the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro Leagues, and they played at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, which has been around for 114 years. It's like the oldest baseball stadium in America and the world. And the cool thing is, 2 nights from now, they will play a major league game there. And I believe it's between the Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals. So it would have been really nice to have Willie watch that game, or perhaps even be at that game. But a hard-nosed player, a tough player, and in my opinion, like the perfect exemplification of the five-tool player. So the five-tool player is he can throw, he can run, he can field, he can hit for average, and he can hit for power. If your lifetime on-base percentage is 384, your batting average above 3,000, you have above 300, you have 3,200, almost 3,300 hits. Like, that is, those are big numbers. And then you have 660 home runs to go along with that. Like, there are things that it's basically like him and Henry Aaron. They're just like in a category of their own. Anyway, played for the Mets was an all-star in his final season with the Mets. He had, maybe that was a bit of a gimme all-star. He only batted .211 that year, but anyway, whatever. I don't want to hear it. Just a truly, truly special player, and a loss for baseball that he's gone. But we love him, and he will be remembered down through the ages as a truly tremendous baseball player. All right. In other news, I blew it, you guys. I had been planning for a year to book a freaking hotel in Cooperstown for July 27th, 2025, which is the day that Ichiro gets inducted. And I checked the hotels today. I thought I still had time, but they opened for like a year ahead booking, and they are literally all sold out. So at this point, I could stay in a renovated cabin by the lake. There's cabins. I can stay in cabins or campsites at this point, not in Cooperstown. So I'll still have to decide how I'm going to get there, because I'm going to do it. I'm going to go see each. It's probably just going to cost me an arm and a leg. Anyway, I don't want to spoil the whole Willie Mays thing with me not properly planning how to book a hotel on a very popular and busy weekend. Maybe I'll just drive down for the day. It's not that far from Ottawa. Anyway, we'll figure it out. To the Mariners game tonight. To the Mariners game tonight we go, because that's what we do in the show. We recap the Mariners, and then we preview the Mariners, and then we talk about how the other teams did in baseball. And I do see a bit of a flaw in the system, in the sense that not all the games are complete here on Tuesday night yet. Thus, I may not be able to do my league-wide roundup, but I will be able to fill you guys in on what happened on Monday. Anyway, tonight, Mariners traveled to Cleveland, Ohio to play at Progressive Field against the Cleveland Guardians. And the Mariners won. They won 8-5. Fourth win in a row at the very least. 44-31 now are the Mariners, first in the American League West. The Cleveland Guardians dropped to 44-26. That's still first in the American League Central. Overall, the Mariners had 11 hits for 8 runs, and they committed 1 error. The Guardians ended up with 10 hits for 5 runs and committed no errors. It was all Mariners early, and then in the later innings, Cleveland made it a little bit interesting. Overall, the pitchers got the decision, so it was Bryce Big Tex Miller going to 6-5 on the year with the win. His ERA is now 3.46. He was pretty good. The losing pitcher was Tristan McKenzie, 3-4 now with a 4.48 ERA. He did not have a great game. And the save was a 5-out save by none other than Andres Munoz, and that's his 13th of the year. His ERA is 1.47, still super outstanding. In terms of the pitching lines, well, the winning pitcher, Mr. Miller, he went 5 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs. 2 of them were earned. He threw the ball away on a pickoff move to first, resulting in a run, but it doesn't count as an earned run against him. He walked 2, struck out 2. Dave Sims was talking about a lot of weak contact and a lot of fly balls. So good for Bryce. He did it the contact way to get through what he had to get through. Not too much damage in that sense. The losing pitcher was Tristan McKenzie. 2 1/3 only for him. So that makes the 4th night in a row, at least, that the Mariners have made the starting pitcher of the opposition go less than 5 innings, which is hard to do and a really good thing if you want to win baseball games, especially at the start of a series when you make them use a lot of pitchers. So McKenzie's line was 3 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 4 walks, no strikeouts, and a homer. A starting pitcher not getting any strikeouts against the Mariners? Wow. All right. Mariners bullpen report. First out of the pen was Austin Voth. Voth like both. He did a third of an inning only to complete the 6th, and it was clean. Then Tyler Saucedo came in to start the 7th. He did 2/3 of an inning and gave up 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, and a K. Then Ryan Stanek did a third of an inning. He struck out his 1 batter. Trent Thornton got a third of an inning done. He didn't look good at all. He gave up a hit, a run. It was earned. No walks or strikeouts. And so basically they had no choice but to give the ball to the big man, Munoz, to try and get 5 outs, which he did splendidly, giving up only 1 hit, no runs, and 1 strikeout. Overall, the Mariners struck out 5 Cleveland Guardians on the night and walked 3. Cleveland for their bullpen, it was Heron, an inning and 2/3, 2 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Barlow, an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts, and a homer. Smith, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and a homer. Hentges, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 walks, no Ks. Avila, inning and 2/3, he only gave up 1 hit and struck out 2. And then Gaddis, 1 inning, 1 hit, and 1 K. So the middle of that bullpen for Cleveland did not do themselves any favors. Ultimately, though, they did strike out the Mariners 9 times, but they walked 7 Mariners and gave up 11 hits. So not a recipe for success. In terms of starting pitching, Miller went 92 pitches, and McKenzie went 59 in 2 1/3. So the Mariners are really working their at-bats, even when they strike out a lot, but they make the guys work for it, which is a good thing. All right. In terms of the scoring, we will run that through you. So Cleveland got on the board first. Bottom of the second, it was Daniel Schneemann grounding into a force out, which allowed Josh Naylor, Canadian, to score. That was all they got, though. Then top of the third, J.P. Crawford, a 2-run homer, scoring Dylan Moore, 2-1 Seattle at that point. Then Cal doubled, scoring Josh Rojas, same inning, 3-1. Then Mitch Garver doubled, scored Cal Raleigh, moved Ty to third, 4-1 Seattle after 3. Top of 4, Crawford doubled, scoring Dylan Moore, 5-1 Seattle at that point. Then Luke Raley with a solo shot in the top of the 5th, 6-1 Seattle. Top of 6 still, Dylan Moore, homer, his 7th of the year, good for him, 7-1 at that point. Bottom of 6, Cleveland starts to chip away. Will Brennan singled, scoring Jose Ramirez. I thought he wasn't playing, but he was. Then there was the pickoff attempt that went awry, which allowed Josh Naylor to score again, 7-3 at that point. Top 7, Mitch Garver gets a run back, which was really nice at the end of the day. He grounded out, but they could not turn the double play, and that allowed Ty France to score from third. Bottom of 7, Ramirez, Jose, he singled, scoring Jonathan Rodriguez. Bottom of 8, Stephen Kwan grounded out, but the Mariners couldn't complete the double play. It allowed Will Brennan to score, so that made it 8-5, but that's as close as they'd come. And Munoz got the final out by strikeout, which was really nice. Good thing for the Mariners on the evening, Stephen Kwan, 1 for 5 with an RBI. Hard to keep Mr. Kwan to 1 for 5. That's really, really solid. For the offense for Seattle, J.P. Crawford had a great night, 2 for 3 with a run scored and 3 RBIs, and he walked twice. Josh Rojas, 2 for 5 with a run. Julio, 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Okay. Cal was 1 for 5 with a run and an RBI. Ty was 0 for 2 with a run and 3 walks. I thought he looked pretty good. He made a nice play at first base to help Trent Thornton out, who spiked a throw at like 1,000,000 miles an hour at his feet, but he picked it, which was real nice. Given how well Tyler Locklear's been playing, it was good to see Ty doing that. Luke Raley was 2 for 5 with a run scored and an RBI until he was ejected for arguing balls and strikes. Victor Robles replaced him. Mitch Garver was 2 for 5, no runs but 2 RBI, which is excellent. And Dylan Moore was 2 for 4, 3 runs, a ribby, and a walk, all from the 9-hole in the order. Great win by the Mariners. All right, looking ahead to tomorrow, I wanted to make sure that the first name of a player that I uttered on the show tonight was that of Mr. Willie Mays. But I was going to tell you that thanks to Mariners broadcaster Dave Sims, I know that it is Tanner Bibee, Biebee, who will be the right-handed starter for Cleveland tomorrow night at 6:40 p.m. Eastern from Progressive Field in Ohio. He's 4-2 with a 3.94 ERA and 87 Ks this season. Brian Wu will be going for the Mariners, all else being equal. He's 3-0 with a 1.07 ERA and 24 Ks this season. He's been great. So we will look to catch this one tomorrow. Nobody has much of a history against either of these pitchers as they are very young. So it should be a good one. All right, let's go to Monday, see how the scores were from Monday. The Mariners were off, but other teams were playing. So in no particular order, the Pirates over the Reds, 4-1. It's a very interesting NL Central matchup there. That was Paul Skeens. He got the win, 4-0 this season, 2.29 ERA. 15 saves from the Pirates closer Bednar on the year. Those are good numbers. Phillies 9-2 over the Padres. Cardinals beat the Marlins 7-6. Red Sox over the Blue Jays 7-3. Braves over the Tigers 2-1. Cubbies lost to San Francisco 7-5. The Mets spanked the Rangers 14-2. 22 hits for the Mets in that one. The Rangers pitching is not that great. Can we say that? Dodgers 9, Rockies 5. And the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, or whatever they're called, 5-3 winners over the Brewers in Anaheim. Good for them. All right, so as of today, that loss by the Rangers yesterday put the Astros ahead of them into second place in the AL West. But tonight, it's top of 8, and the Rangers are up 6-4 over the Mets. Otherwise, in games that have gone final, you've got the Marlins 9, the Cardinals 8 in 10 innings. The Reds beat the Pirates 2-1 to return the favor from last night. Phillies over the Padres 4-3. Diamondbacks over the Nationals 5-0. Yanks over the Orioles 4-2 in a pivotal series. Red Sox win another one against the Blue Jays 4-3. Tigers lost 2-1 to the Braves. Cubs 5, Giants 2. And the White Sox 2 and the Astros nothing. Nothing like a Jonathan Cannon shutout, or a win at least, against Framber Valdez on the south side of Chicago to make this radio show host happy. So we'll leave it at that. We'll say a big rest in peace to Mr. Willie Mays. And thanks as always for listening. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow for Game 2 between your Seattle Mariners and the Cleveland Guardians.